All right. Well, thank you everybody for showing up to this March 2nd, Thursday webinar with LSA and Fieldnotes. I've got a little bit, I got something for Canada today. So if there's anybody from Canada today, y'all will be happy. So with that said, let's go
For sure.
This bud's for you, Deanie.
This
Yeah,
and
Canada's frozen over.
they could use some hot chocolate, that's for sure.
Mm.
Where is Mr. Bob Johnson? So let's go ahead and share. All right, everybody can see my situation. So as you guys know, in the library where we keep our documents, we have 3 new templates. Let's minimize this one and go straight to Canada. Now, Marion, tell me if I'm incorrect. The one that was there was good for nothing, right? 100%. You're muted.
You're
I
muted.
apologize.
Sorry about that.
No
The
worries.
second page is okay. The first page, it was definitely, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. So that's old news, really old, kind of few months ago news.
I took it out. Just
I can see that.
yeah, no, I figured it was bad altogether, and so I just removed it. And so yeah, I guess, well, damn, I guess maybe well, hopefully these will do better than the other one. But so I went ahead and went through. Let's get Kathy Lucas up in here.
So I'll send you more, Jeremy, when, you know, I'll send you more eventually.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you can, definitely. That goes for everybody else. If you've got I know the
Hey,
page
the
you
doc,
gave
the that link that I sent you, I think has
Right.
some Canadian docs in it as well.
Did I go over that with you, right, Marion? I showed you that.
What?
The link at a glance, the one that Kathy had shared with me. I think
No.
we didn't go over it. Well, I had a big question about that link as well. Like, how much of that stuff can be put into the CRM library? Everything, or
Yeah, anything that's on that is available for the field to use for communications with clients.
and so I can
Yeah.
organize it as best fit within that library.
And
just
it doesn't mean we have to put it all in there, but it just, I'm sharing it with you because it's
Right.
it's available. So I know for Canada, there's, not as many folks, working that stuff. So I'm just thinking about from the standpoint of why reinvent the wheel, right? So if corporates, develop something and it's available, one of the things that they're adding to that is some of the Spanish materials, because I run into need for Spanish stuff from time to time, and I know it's hard to locate those things. So, we might put a little Spanish section in here at some point just to make those things easy to find as well. But at any rate, that's, yeah, so they're all available and corporate approved and blessed and through legal and all that sort of stuff. So they're fine, but I'm not suggesting that you should put them all out there as any sort of a mass push or anything. But, if somebody's looking for something and you're thinking like, hey, I think that's over, in that list, it's just like the things that are available on the weekly news update, anything that's on there is corporate approved, ready to go, and can be used by the field for communications with groups and clients.
We still have to be careful with what's going into the Canadian link, because corporate has not completely finished all our new spreadsheets. If they say on them available in all provinces, that's wrong now, completely wrong.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I will try to comb through it and see what can fill up some of these, just to kind of give it some more oomph. when it comes to in the folders, and then see and kind of just start pushing them out. Because I was waiting for a little bit of, all right, I need this one in there, I need that one in there. But because then again, there's a lot of content, and then I didn't want to waste time and put stuff that wasn't ever going to be used. And so if you have maybe some ones to start with, some sections to start with, I definitely would like to be point in the right direction if you know, if you could, if you had some chance.
Have you looked at the weekly communication? Has that been updated? And are there any, like, I mean, I always think about, you know, there's a half a dozen documents that I use on a regular basis. I'd imagine the same is true in Canada. And have those half dozen documents been updated, and can we get those out there? I mean, that's like kind of where I think of starting when I think about things like this.
Can you forward those? Are those monthly emails or weekly?
They're weekly emails that come out from corporate. I don't know that, I mean, the videos and the attachments, you know, the links and things that are on them, those don't, I mean, they, you know, they could change every week, but I mean, typically,
They don't.
you know, there might be one or two things on that list of documents at the bottom of the email that's like, oh, you know, new video or updated video or whatever. But they don't typically change every week, but yeah, that's a weekly email.
Yeah. Well, whatever helps me kind of make sure the best content's out there at your guys' fingertips would definitely be a benefit.
Well, I just am wondering if Marion's looked at all of those on a recent weekly email, and if that's a good starting point to kind of comb through those and say, what are the critical few that need to go in the Canadian folder here for everybody?
Not yet. The one that came in on Monday, I think, I haven't had a chance to look at that. So I was just combing through the resources and trying to figure out what they'd fixed and what they hadn't, which can be, as you know, inundating, a little overwhelming too. So
Yeah. I think on the weekly newsletter, they have like a little Canadian section. So I try not to look at the resource area because you know, it's easy to get lost in the forest back there and, you know, never to be seen again. So
Never come
anyway.
back. There's
For
bears in those hills, you know.
Mhm.
So this is let me see which one. This one is this the group pricing chart. So this is the PDF.
So that's for new groups.
This was the PDF that was given to me. And so this is the PDF. And basically, I don't know if you guys can see all of these little kind of white lines, but these are all just tables underneath each
Yep.
other, the same type of, they're all 800, one row. So I usually just do that to kind of dump the photo in, give it its own kind of like header, then
Mhm.
followed with another single, just little, let's let Rosalind in, another table, but just by itself, just so I could force this to kind of have its own little font and format in place. Here is another table. So I don't know if you guys know that you can actually make colors and put colors behind the cells by just going to the cell, and you'll see cell properties. And now you've got border color and you've got background color. And so these are the colors that you have to pick from, unless you know and you want to play around with like the code, I guess. So I just kind of keep it simple, kind of go for the reds, the blues, the grays, the blacks. But however, it does definitely give a good feeling to this document, and it's all within the document. No attachments, no nothing. So this can be something that you can just drop my signature either within this little, you could probably put it right below it if you wanted to, my signature, and then it would be a working document. Here is another one that went in, and this one is the small business. Now this one definitely took some time, but you can see that it's almost like a spit image. A little bit of the spacing is hard to emulate, but at the end of the day, you're able to grab everything and it's all in one PDF, and it kind of follows the same little bit of a format, has all of the little fine print as well for you guys to deal with. And then you guys can put in your own names and numbers and use this as a straight up email that you send out to people. And yes, so I can say what's difficult about creating these, just giving you guys some insight if you guys wanted to do things on your own, is the tables, right? Whether you count out the tables, and then all of this can be into one table, so you can force the font into one thing. And then the same kind of with this, you can do that as well. And so if you're ever having questions or would like to do things like this, definitely either ask me to kind of give you a little bit more of a one-on-one, right? But you can see how these things can be definitely replicated and utilized. And yeah, so there's this one, and then the will questionnaire. It's a little bit different just because it's something in which they have to like fill out. So it's something I wanted to give them access. Click here for the full web will questionnaire. So if they click this, it's going to take them to the PDF. And that PDF is similar, like I've explained to you guys. You attach the document to the email, and then that's the link where it will live. And then the people can fill this out, either print it, scan it.
Is that an editable PDF?
This is not.
You mean a
However, I'm assuming-
fillable?
Yeah.
yeah, doesn't look like.
I don't think
I
so.
think, yeah, it doesn't look like it is.
If
However,
they're using Adobe, they're pretty much all fillable. Adobe will actually look out there and say, oh, this looks like a field to me, and it will treat it as a field and allow you to fill it
Okay.
in.
Okay.
so if you do this on your phone and you have Adobe on your phone, would it let you fill it in on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
All right.
Yeah, you have to know that the feature is there and go load it. I used to always use their comments feature, but then they came up with what they called the sign and fill, or fill and sign feature. And so it's in, as far as I know, it's in all the latest editions of Adobe. The free Adobe Reader. You don't have to have the full version.
Okay.
Nice.
You might let Jonathan Booth know that he has asked some questions on Facebook, I think on the mastermind page, around clients signing forms online.
Yeah, and the big question would be, if they sign electronically, will corporate accept that? That's the big question.
In group,
yeah.
they could sign a cocktail napkin, with peanut butter, and we would take it because we put it in Shield at work. It's will you take it? It's
Yeah.
How would you know-
corporate taking it is not the question.
How would you know it's peanut butter? If it's on a napkin and it looks like peanut butter, it's
I
going
had an
straight to the
allergic
bite.
reaction. That's how I would know.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I've never heard in peanut butter on a cocktail napkin. I heard in crayon on a napkin.
There
which
you
my
go.
mom-
That
my mom
would work
said.
too.
But okay, so this is the third one. Now I have seen a feature within this right now. Maybe I'll just open up another.
So in that case, you've got a document here, but then you've got a PDF attached to it.
Like hyperlinked, right? So when they click
Right,
the link, it
okay.
goes to it. I wrote.
So my
this up.
question was,
Mhm.
why would we want to recreate a corporate PDF document and go through the headaches
Mhm.
of recreating a corporate PDF document as opposed to just
Given it.
taking that PDF document and putting it in the library here as is, so that they can just link to it.
That
can
was
do-
what I always asked.
You
Okay,
want just the link to the document.
well,
So
Deliverability and the fact that the user doesn't have to now go open something, but it's all right there. But there are definitely cases where it makes a lot more sense, like the will questionnaire,
mhm,
to put that little header information in and say, now, if you'd like the whole thing, go here. That's humanly a
Actually-
little more acceptable, so
Mhm.
but yeah, attachments are one of the things that the email programs will look for to say, this could be dangerous.
so that hyperlink in the will questionnaire is going to be problematic.
The
Not-
hyperlink is actually better than an attachment.
Right.
It shouldn't.
So-
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should be less evasive and
Right.
right. And then
And
that's what
here's a
the-
good selling point.
Mhm.
You can sell them on Trend Micro Maximum Security with the email feature on it, because it'll verify that the link is good to click on.
Oh, I
You
love
guys
it.
didn't know that.
Yes.
So
Oh, she's just full of surprises. That's good. That's good.
I'm just saying.
No,
I'm
I-
sending you a bunch of emails with attachments. You might as well have our product to make sure that's what I send you is safe.
Right.
Yeah.
No, well, I guess that's a cool thing to kind of keep in mind. But I feel by doing this, you're doing them a favor, right? You're saving them an extra step. I think it's a little bit thoughtful in the sense that you went through your day and you did this, or whether if they think you did it or not, the fact that it is that they get the email and there it is. They can just get right into it. They can read it. They'll have your information. You can follow up with them and you can actually talk to them if they saw this. If this gets the green check, the 2 green checks, well, then now you've got something in which they most likely had a chance to look at it, or at least go up to the bottom and then see who it was from. And so I think having it like this, but accessing the PDF is just, 3 seconds to add that little link and to do everything. And so
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
I
add
get
shortly.
it.
Yeah, and my concern was always, his corporate updates documents. That means we got to go back and update all these templates versus just a link to a PDF says replace it and you're done.
No, you're right.
Because they were
100%.
notoriously changing stuff without us knowing, like, oh, geez, I had an older version. I didn't even know that,
Yeah.
So,
Yep. But I mean, you guys can always just notify me, or you just make the change to the document that you have, right?
Right.
Just something that you'll just have to.
Yeah. I mean, it is, although I'm hoping that the rate of change might be a little less
Yes.
crazy than it has been in the last few years. So we'll see.
Well-
All right.
I'll do my best to help you guys with that.
Well, yeah, that's great. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, change is
Right.
going to happen and we got to
Change is
be
gonna
able to manage it. So,
So that was the opener. Another thing I just wanted to maybe discuss and share with you guys. So for like the past months, we've been talking about like a new UI and a new kind of everything with system and that kind of stuff. So I can see it's coming closer than we possibly may anticipate. And so with that, Fieldnotes hasn't changed prices. Well, we have made an adjustment on our other side. And so some price changing is going to be coming down the line. Everybody's eyes are wide open. I know that. So, but one thing you guys can rest assured is that I'm trying to grandfather you guys in, like so whoever's here is here, right? And I'm going to try to keep everybody on the same situation. However, for newcomers, I think they're going to be meeting obviously the new situation, the new pricing and that kind of stuff. And so wanted to give you guys some heads up. Also, if you'd like to spread the word, the price is what it is now, and it will be going up by a couple of dollars ish. And so we're still going to do a little bit of a discount. We're still going to do something special for the LegalShield. But I do know that change is coming. When the change is going to come is when we start to see the new UI. So that could be a month or so, couple weeks. So it's not a race, but if you think that the price point is just as good as the program itself and it's a selling point, spread the word. Let people know that, you know, it'll just be a couple of dollars more in a couple of months, and they have no problem, you know, coming to me, seeing what the program's all about, or invite them to one of the webinars so that they can see how things work. Yeah.
Jeremy, do you have like a little sort of email intro marketing piece that we could send them, or, you know, say like, here's an overview, here's a little short video. I mean, something that we can give them. Because a lot of times when I give them Fieldnotes info, they're out looking online, they're seeing the, you know, like regular Fieldnote stuff. And I'm like, yeah, don't look at that. Look at the LegalShield stuff. And
Gotcha.
so if there was something that I could like have some sort of like canned message to say, like, let me just send you this. And then it just gives them an overview, tells them what the current price is, gives them a little summary of what Fieldnotes does and what's cool about Fieldnotes.
Yeah.
Whatever, if you could, you know, sort of load
Slap
our
that
lips
together.
with that information. I
Yeah.
mean, we kind of say what we like about it, whatever we're telling our story. But then if we have sort of a
No,
can thing
definitely.
that we could send them, that would make it
Absolutely.
easier for us to kind of spread the word.
Sure. So what I'll
Did you
do
say
is,
we were grandfathered in? We're not getting the rate increase, only the new people?
that is, so for right now, you guys are, I mean, I'm trying to grandfather you guys in. So when the change does happen, anybody that's in the gate, kind of like at the apocalypse, right? And if you're in, you're in. But then everybody else, they'll get charged differently. But that's, of course, they're going to see the different pricing. So the link will just be edited and it'll just be changed and adjust the price a little bit, right? And so you guys will still stay with what you guys have come in with, right? Which is the $39.95.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to get from my peoples, is to, you know, not you know, elbow you guys and be like, all right, yep, pony up 15 more, you know. However, with the new UI, and then to my knowledge, apparently the pricing has been the pricing since the beginning. I don't know for how many years, but so, you know, it was just about time to kind of, with this new UI, there's a lot of efforts going into make it faster, quicker, a bunch of little new features and things like that. And so once I be able to play around with it, I'm going to see if I can get a couple of accounts so people can actually play around with it as well as kind of little dummies. And then we can crash test dummies and we can see, you know, what we like about it and not like about it. But yeah, so this is coming from the top, but I'll definitely throw something together so that you guys can send out to your people. And if anybody would like to get on the board, you know, now would be the best time. And yeah, so
Yeah, and I think now's a good time because, you know, we kind of got the library nicely organized. We've got the sort of the changes, I think that, got rid of the transactions, and I
Oh,
think
with
it's kind of
the
we're
map
at
and
a
the
place
data.
that I think now's a good time to, if people want to come on board, it's kind of at a good point to say like, okay, here's how to do this. The one thing, and in fact, it's something I was going to try to schedule some time with you, Jeremy, today or tomorrow on, is just the whole updating account updates, because that's still something I'm struggling with a little bit. So,
Sure, absolutely.
anyway, that's a
Yeah, if you
sidebar for me, but
if you want to send me, sometimes when you're available, definitely
Mhm.
I'll give you one of my slots and we can take a look at it and review it.
Okay.
But yep, just wanted to inform you guys those two
And-
important details. Tell me.
And Cassie, just so you know, the Jackie did we gave her an entire Elements of Virtual Selling session. It's been some time
Right.
ago now.
Mhm.
But if they're ready for the longer commercial, the full brochure, there
Right.
you can definitely utilize that link. They'd have to join the group to be able to see it, but they
Right.
can definitely do that and then opt back out if they want, but that's available.
Yeah, and I know we did a demo, it's a long time ago now, on the Mastermind Facebook page as well, which lots of, there's thousands of people that belong to that page, but we could do an update over there as well, Jeremy. So that's another place that if we wanted to do an update on what's new with Fieldnotes and what's going on, we could certainly do a demo of Fieldnotes on the Facebook page for LegalShield Mastermind. So that's something that we might want to do, and plug the, hey, current pricing is what it is, but it's probably going to be going up in the next couple months. So if you want to get in on today's rates, now's the time to plug in, sort of thing. We've made a lot of nice improvements. Library is loaded with lots of good LegalShield content and
Right, and more to
ready
come.
to go.
No, definitely. Just so a couple months might be too much. It just really depends on the developers and how they're pushing it through. And so if it gets through, if things get approved quick and things get rolled out, then this could be a lot sooner than we anticipate. But I just wanted to
Okay.
not hold off, kind of spread the word and see what you guys thought about it as well. But I definitely think it's an opportunity, at least for people to get in at a price point from, a different price point than what it will be. And just wanted to let you guys know, my community, my peoples.
Okay.
So that
Well, if you want to do that, a live Facebook demo on the Mastermind page, because that is a group that has almost 4,000 people in it, all LegalShield people. So,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Well,
I mean, it at least has a good reach within this specific community.
absolutely.
And I mean, that's going to be LegalShield Solutions people, but I think that is kind of the target audience. Now, I mean, all those solutions people also are network people, right? So it's
Right,
not
right.
like they're 100% solutions, but I think it's a good opportunity, and we could do, a 30-minute demo over there. Obviously,
I don't think I've ever done
Elements of
anything in
Virtual
30 minutes,
Selling is
but
another group you could reach out to as well.
Well,
We'll
and,
try
and
my
to your
best.
point, Cassie, it gives business solutions focused associates a great resource and tool, which we have not had.
Right.
So even though a lot do networking and they've had a tool, this
Thank
is
you for
the
those kind
really
words.
best tool right now that we have. So
Nice.
Right. Well,
Amen.
and we did do a HubSpot demo over there. We did a Zoho demo. I mean, it's not like all we've ever talked about has been Fieldnotes. So it's, but we've had a lot of updates on Fieldnotes, and we haven't done an update in a long time over there. And I know, when Darice does her training on CRM, she primarily focuses on Zoho because that's her system that she uses, but she is becoming a little bit more CRM agnostic. in her
Okay.
training at my encouragement, because it's like her training is really about how to use a CRM to be more effective in your business. The
Right.
platform is secondary, but she happens to use Zoho, so obviously that's her language, right?
Right.
But I kept telling her, like, it's not about Zoho, it's about the concept. You should be conceptually training people, because she was only getting people that use Zoho. And I'm like, but this applies to HubSpot, it applies to Fieldnotes, it applies to any CRM you want to use. So anyway.
Well, and you still had to do a lot of manual work in Zoho to get it to be what she was training on, where
Right,
Field Notes, you don't have to do all that manual work.
right.
So
Touche.
that's the biggest difference I saw.
Yep, absolutely.
All righty. Kathy's earning her way around. Thank you for the kind words.
Yep.
It's
Cassie,
good-
I've been on I just quickly jumped on the PPLSI weekly update, and it's all group. All the information, the new sheets are all group. So the regular flat sheets are not fixed yet.
Okay.
Gotta love corporate. All right.
Yeah.
So I know we're just kind of like right at the end of the 30 minutes, but we were talking about something on Monday. I don't know if I just allude to what it was. It was dealing with categorizing. Obviously, it's a really good thing to talk about. That's something that we talked on Monday, to kind of how to set up things categorized. And I brought up a lot of people's style of the way that, like Cassie, the way that you have it. Let me see if I have your, let me go to LSA.
My categories.
Yeah, I've been grabbing everybody's that has like a decent thought process behind it. Yours, of course, was like what seeded the whole thing, and then everybody kind of like started to do their own thing, which is great because
Mm-hmm.
everybody does stuff differently. And so it
Mm-hmm.
was a little context. Obviously, I'm, because I don't think like you in that way, because I didn't learn it like you, but this one's yours, right? The prospects, the DM, the proposal, the enrollment partner. A lot of people liked how you had things broken up. I don't know if you want to maybe quickly kind of give some insight as to these categories and then how they work with these categories. And then by having this set up like that, something that we just kind of looked at Kathy on the side, just in her account specifically, was by having something like this set up, now it allows you to kind of automatically have your action plans set up so that when somebody does come in as a prospect, if you had action plans strictly for prospecting, this could help you, opposed to decision making. And so if you have this kind of categories, it definitely is a step into automation, right? And
Right. So the top part, and anybody that's been through the group training is going to recognize that's just what we train on as our sales process, right? So prospecting, the decision maker meeting or the discovery meeting, the proposal, moving into enrollment servicing, and then I have a partner category that I put up there, and then we either have closed or lost, and then the hot, cold, and warm are just the built-in categories that were there. So, and then I put the numbers in front of those things because I wanted them to show up in order, and otherwise they show up alphabetically, and alphabetically doesn't work in my brain. I want them to show up in the process order that I tend to think of how the sales process works. And then in the status below, that's kind of, so there's the sales process, which is the top list. And then the status is kind of, what are we doing? So I may be, meeting with the DM and, or I'm in the proposal process and I've given them a proposal, or it's a new group, but it's in process, or maybe it's an active group, closed or reassigned. So, I've kind of got these, like, kind of what's the status of that group or member? Are they active? Are they closed? Where are we in what's the activity going on with that? So it's kind of where are we and what are we doing with whoever is being classified there, whether it's at the group level or the individual level. So it's not, perfectly clean. There's obviously some overlap there. And so that's just kind of how it's evolved.
Correct. One thing I can mention is that not only does this help you with doing triggering, right, for the action plans and all of that kind of stuff, but actually doing filtering and sourcing your own data.
Mm-hmm.
If you have this kind of order, now you can actually go into your data, you can look at specific categories, you can filter it, and then, like, if you pull up all your prospecting, whatever's in prospecting, and you know that you have 500 people that aren't being touched, aren't being engaged, well, now you can try to do so, right, and either use a action plan, because at the end of the day, that's what you would like to do, is to, yes, you do, Kathy. So Kathy said she's got similar. If you want, Kathy, this is Jackie. Jackie uses follow-up frequency pick 1, and she uses large group contact, large group contact groups. So for the majority, if you guys haven't edited your statuses, this is what they look like. This is Jackie's method, and these are some of her groups and how she's kind of categories. So she uses the number system as well. She does things different, like the go walk your community thing. But like I said, you can basically, as you work, you can create your own categories, you can create your own levels to it. And by doing that, it gives you access to source and do your action plans automatically. And this one is Kathy's, right? So I'll give you the floor if you want to kind of give a little insight to how you do things so that people can kind of understand your method behind. And then yours is status. And let me see, did I just,
Yeah, I don't think it's got the sales cycle in there,
okay.
but
then
it's
I'll-
similar to what Cassie had.
Uh-huh.
I just drilled down a little more under the member because I have some members that have our legacy ID shield and some that have the new trend micro. So the messaging was different when I wanted to drip on them. I wanted to know on a pre-cancel, where they pre-cancel on a bank draft, where they pre-cancel on a CDL, because I offer some of those.
Okay.
So I just drilled them down even a little bit farther so that when I made my list to set up the triggers, that it could be a more specific campaign to that particular audience. So
Kathy, let me ask you a question. When you have a member, okay, I see you've got a member that's CDL and legal. So that's a 4.3. So if you have a member that's a 4.3, so they have both, what do you do when you have that and an ID shield guy? So
that was the one that's on my to-do list because I missed that one.
Okay.
So I just need to combine the templates into that one message. Yeah, I had wrote that down because I remembered I missed it. And yeah.
So when you have a member that has, so you have one campaign for just CDL, you have one campaign for CDL and legal, and then you have another campaign for CDL, legal, and ID shield.
Yeah, and they're built from those templates that we all did. So it just, yeah. And it includes a text message in almost all cases with it. So, yeah. So I just drilled it down farther because I was finding like last year was like personally the most tough year I had with LegalShield in that I lost, 8 groups. 5 of them were sales and mergers, like acquisitions. So I needed
Mhm.
to send the message that said, hey, there was a change in your company. You get to keep your, so I had to find a way to deal with that. And that's why I drilled these down even farther. So that the
Wow.
message was more specific.
Now, didn't you just, like you mentioned, you just kind of, you did this so then you could go and set up all your action plans.
Yeah, I showed you
Do
my
the
list. So I
triggers.
took each one of these,
How was
I
that?
took the campaigns and I put what the code was for status and sales cycle underneath each one. So if I labeled, Cassie Prinky with, she's an active like servicing and she's a 04 dot, member active TM, it triggered that message to her. Soon as I put her in and she was coded, it triggered it to her. So
What I'm
Mm.
referring to is how was I feel a lot of people are, off taken for kind of doing triggers. Sometimes they would like my support, obviously, to help them so that they do the things correct, which I'm okay with. But everybody's a little scared sometimes when it comes to setting up the triggers. How was it for you having order and utilizing this kind of system, right, to then go and do the automatic triggers? Was that something that was just totally above you, or were you able to
well,
just
I think I shared it with you was, okay, so I already had hundreds in there that were running a campaign, like had an action plan running.
Mhm.
So if I went back and I labeled them, were they going to get a double campaign? And you showed me how that eliminated that. So that was my biggest concern. But now that I know that that's not a problem based
Nope.
on the setup, I don't worry about it so much. But now I'm excited because I don't have to worry. I just got to put them in there, label them, and the trigger takes care of it.
So what she's referring to is
I just want to be like Kathy when I grow up.
And I want to be like you. So
We'll just merge our brains together. There we go.
that's right.
too much. So this is that. This is how you're not going to get the same action plan sent multiple times on the contact. Is this little check guy.
Yeah, make sure it's not checked.
Mhm.
Correct. So make sure it's
Mhm.
not correct or it's not checked. And even though you've already sent people, whether if it was individually or by any other trigger or whatever you did, right? They're still going to be on track, but any of the triggers you do set up will then work on those people. So as you start entering people and changing their categories, and you can call it dispositioning them, what's the other coding, right? I've heard the many different ways to explain it, but that will then give you your sanity back, right? Then it's less you have to do with the system, in the sense of just dealing with the contact end, and then you know that you've got all your material and your stuff in the background firing off, should save you time. And then if you, let's say you did a group edit, you put in a group of 20 people and then you do a group edit and you edit everybody within 5 minutes, you, instead of, maybe I don't know what that was in the past, if you went one by one, or if you had to, you know what I mean? God knows what you guys had to do to trigger all those action plans, but that would no longer be anything that you're thinking about. All it is just get people organized, sourced, or coded, however you want to, or dispositioned, right? And then you've got the system working with you a little smarter and less harder.
Oh yeah, it's crazy good.
I was going to say, if we get the word out that Fieldnotes can save our sanity, that will definitely be a big
That's-
Well,
sales
it's hard to
point.
hear people go, yeah, it just automatically goes out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need, so
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think we're definitely moving to a good place. And then so if you have the need or the want to like do this for yourself, just reach out to me, right? I've got a little bit of everybody's kind of outline of how this is Deborah's. I when helping Deborah kind of do the same thing, I was extremely impressed that Deborah had, and not to put Deborah down, but I thought Deborah struggled a lot more with computer systems and everything. So when I saw this, I was like, Deborah, you got this. This is easy. I mean, I felt like a proud teacher who's who's taught his students well, because when she pulled this rabbit out of that hat, I was like, well, of course we can talk about setting up all your action plans, because without this kind of setup, there's no foundation you can do any of the auto triggering, and you get zero insight to your data, which if it was me, it would drive me crazy. And so hats off to the people who have used it. But of course, if you would like to, reach out to me, and we can definitely have that conversation. I think I've had that conversation with Miriam, and I think it's extremely important now that she has little to nobody in the system to set this up, kind of chew on this for a little bit so that you can understand it. And then if you start uploading and start following this kind of format, well then adding action plans and putting those together and then triggering them is going to be, for what Kathy took years to get to, right?
Mhm.
She could get into it within weeks. So we've evolved from a lot to where we are right now, to where you can just really kind of get in and really get your money's worth, right?
I think still the difficult thing of going from when you think Business Solutions Shield at Work to Fieldnotes is the fact that, like you have multiple people come on board in this month, and you're going to take that report and you're going to, tweak it to bring it into Fieldnotes. You still got to identify who's on the legacy ID shield, who's on the new, because there's no intuitive way just to bring it in. It automatically knows, right? But
Well,
that's
kind
the
of.
part that still takes a little bit of time to identify,
Well, I mean, I guess then later on we can kind of start talking about uploading data, but utilizing the spheres and those categories, so that when you upload the data, either you're telling Sparky, give this group that status or such, right? Or you're actually mapping it yourself and
Yeah,
applying
and I
it
would think by
on the
group
upload.
number, if you said this has this group number, that group number has this,
Right.
yeah, that
No,
would be
simple
great.
instructions for Sparky would definitely make it easier for him.
Yeah.
Plus, if you have a system, then Sparky can obviously see the system and then just make it happen. But I'm talking about for the people that like to map data on their own and start to utilize mapping the data with these categories already pre-selected to the context that you wanted. So when
Mhm.
the data is uploaded, it will eat you. Just now, you don't even have to set anybody nothing. It's just going to take all the configurations that you did and the person's set up from enter. And that, I think, would save just a bunch of time, right? But that is a next step, next level kind of thing. However, with the categories like we've cleaned up and everything like that, it makes that a lot easier to do so as well. So, well, I am definitely glad that we had this conversation. I will put something together to help you guys pass it around in regards to the meeting or that group. You set it up, you tell me where I gotta be, and I'll be there, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to talk about field notes with that beautiful audience of people, right? 4,000. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeremy, are you going to be sharing what's on the screen now? I wasn't able to screenshot it at the moment as you were going through, but having the way that these three have shared it is pretty good. No, it's really good, really good.
Do you like, my
Yeah,
friend?
I
Yes.
do,
we
I
like.
do, I do like you to share it, man.
I don't know where that World War II accent came from, but it's okay. We roll with it. I think I started it, but so I dumped it in the chat so that you could snatch it, right? But if you want it in the email, just let me know. You know what I mean?
I'm not seeing it in the chat. Let's see here.
Oh no, or did I just give that to? Oh, that was just to her specifically.
Yeah, it's not in the chat.
There we go.
Yeah, you got to tell it to everyone. There we go.
Yes.
All right. Wondermacious. Okay. And we will
Absolutely.
save the chat. There we
You
go.
send it to me. You send it to me, Jeremy.
One of the things that I realized, Jeremy, was when we were talking is I was getting so lost in the weeds with spheres. I mean, I was all about spheres. And when I got my head away from everything isn't a sphere, and I got that core of the status and such thought through in my head, so it made sense to me, then all the spheres just were like icing on the cake.
Right.
Spheres, yeah.
It was a whole different thought process for me when you explained it that way.
Absolutely. And I saw that coming into the company, and then being introduced to you guys, that everybody was doing things with spheres.
Yeah, we kind of
Taught
got
that way.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of launched on a sphere crazy thing when we first started. Everything was spheres, and I didn't really understand that, and so I was a little sphere resistant to begin with. So I kind of didn't go down the sphere path that much because here's where I got stuck. Was when I first started, they said, we'll create a sphere for every group. And I went, well, wait a minute, I'm going to have 150 spheres over that. Like, that's my starting point. Like, how am I, like, this is crazy. Like, how's that going to be helpful to me?
Yeah.
And so that's where like I immediately, my brain locked up, and I couldn't get my mind wrapped around like how I was going to use spheres to manage it. And that's why I couldn't move forward. Like I just got immediately stuck on spheres. Like, this isn't going to work for me.
And I
And
use
like-
spheres for industries because I was like trying to figure
Right.
out. And I use spheres for like if I knew the person was in SHRM, and I still do.
Right.
I still do, but it was
And
like,
that's a secondary filter that
Yeah.
you're
Right.
giving yourself, so that you can then get into the data. You can pull up different statuses, right?
Right.
Whether it's a prospect, and then you can go look at different kinds of spheres and see
Yeah.
what you're associated. But mainly it's like just the sash on a Girl Scout, all those little badges that she has. That's just things that are more to trigger you, so that you can either get into the conversation, or you can remember details about a specific person, in which you most likely would do with other people and other accounts. So you can either group them, use them independently, or it's hard to do it independently on just one, because there's another customer that's going to come up and is going to be a
Mhm.
doctor, and then there's another customer that's going to be the same kind of categories, and it works for everybody. And then if you did that and you wanted to look at these independent badges, you can then search, and then it gives you that insight, which if you build it, it's there for you to take. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
The way
what's
we
cool
do it
about
now
it-
definitely made more sense. But anyway.
yes.
yeah, what's
Oh,
cool
yeah.
about it too is like when I used it for the verticals, like industries.
Mhm.
And anytime you add and I run a report, so like up in your contacts, you can run a report of just whatever that sphere is or that category. Every time you add somebody and you put them in that sphere, it automatically updates your list. So I was like, if I was trying to say all the, medical offices, and I found another one, as long as I code it medical office, it keeps my report current, so I could go in and still continue. And so I finally kind of figured out how to use it that way
Mhm.
in that regard. And it makes sense. Cause then somebody will say, to me, don't you know so-and-so? I'm like, can't remember their name. So I go in and pull up medical. Oh yeah. And if I look, because after a while you get so many contacts, you can't remember their name or their company
Yep.
name.
Everybody's
Right.
just a little building block in the machine. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I definitely thank everybody for showing up today. I'm glad it was as productive as possible. And if you guys got any insight, any things you guys like to add, you guys got my email, and I'm always here to hear what you're going through to see if I can help you.
Thank you.
All right.
you,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
Talk to
Hey,
you guys
pleasure.
later.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
everything.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.